Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive, kind of hidden challenge in the modern workplace. It's something pretty much all of us deal with. How on earth do we use generative AI without accidentally leaking incredibly sensitive data? We all absolutely love the hours these tools save us, right? But that helpfulness actually masks a pretty critical risk. So let's jump right in and figure this out.
We have to kick things off with a somewhat harsh truth. You've probably heard it before, but when the product is free, your data is the fee. AI tools are designed from the ground up to be incredibly helpful, and that extreme helpfulness tricks our brains into feeling like they're inherently safe. But we really must remember that helpful and secure are two entirely different things. When you're using a free consumer-level AI tool, your inputs might actually be used to improve their future models. Your data literally becomes the payment. Internalizing this fundamental difference is absolutely step one in protecting yourself and your organization.
Okay, before you ever hit enter on another prompt, I want you to run it through this simple but incredibly powerful mental framework. We call it the newspaper test. Ask yourself, if the exact information you are about to share appeared on the front page of a newspaper tomorrow, would it cause harm to anyone? If the answer is yes, or honestly even a maybe, you are dealing with sensitive data that needs to be protected. It's just the ultimate mental check to stop a leak before it even starts. Now, there is a huge misconception out there that major data leaks come from some shadowy hacker breaking into a server. In reality, they almost always come from well-meaning employees who are simply trying to get their jobs done a little faster. Take these real-world examples. Samsung engineers copy-pasted proprietary source code into an AI to debug it, completely inadvertently exposing critical trade secrets. We've seen lawyers upload confidential client documents just for a quick summary, instantly breaching attorney-client privilege. Healthcare workers have literally entered patient symptoms into consumer chatbots and violated strict HIPAA regulations without even realizing what they were doing. These were entirely innocent mistakes, but the consequences? Catastrophic.
To actually stop these leaks, we have to recognize what we're trying to protect. Sensitive data isn't just credit card numbers and passwords. It spans a massive spectrum. Sure, it includes direct identifiers like names and email addresses, but it also heavily involves financial data, think salaries and unreleased revenue numbers. It covers health diagnosis and proprietary trade secrets like that source code we just talked about. Basically, it's any information that could cause financial harm, give away a competitive advantage, or violate trust if it fell into the wrong hands.
So here's where it gets tricky. You might think you're playing it completely safe by leaving out a specific name. Let's say you use a descriptive prompt to summarize a performance review. You type something like, a 34-year-old female engineer in the Montreal office, thinking, great, it's totally anonymous. But actually, if you're talking about a specific branch or small team, that description probably isolates exactly one person.
And that brilliantly illustrates a huge trap known as indirect identification. It's what happens when seemingly innocent data points are combined to single out an individual. A job title here, a department there, maybe a recent project. On their own, totally harmless. But put them together, and they create a micro-mystery that AI is terrifyingly brilliant at solving. When you feed these indirect clues into an AI, you aren't just taking casual notes. You are sending potentially identifying information straight to a third-party server. The moment you paste internal info into an AI tool, it can actually escape through a few distinct pathways. First, there's direct prompt leakage, where everything you type is sent to the provider's servers. Then, there's training data ingestion, which means the AI literally learns from your inputs to train its future models. You've also got third-party integrations, where a sneaky browser extension or plugin captures your data. But the fourth pathway, that one is arguably the most dangerous of them all.
That scariest pathway is called inference and reconstruction. This can happen even if you don't share any direct data whatsoever. Let's say you ask an AI, hey, help me write an apology to our biggest client about the delayed shipment of 500 units. Well, you didn't name the client, but you just inadvertently revealed your company's closely guarded supply chain struggles and order volumes. The AI model can easily combine that context with patterns to reconstruct highly sensitive business realities from those tiny indirect clues.
Okay, this next number should absolutely make you pause. 68. Shockingly, 68% of employees who use AI at work actively hide it from their employers. They're out there using personal, unapproved tools for work tasks, and this fuels a massive hidden crisis we call shadow AI. Shadow AI is a huge deal because it bypasses absolutely every existing security control, data protection measure, and IT protocol your organization has painstakingly put into place.
This whole shadow AI mess perfectly illustrates the night and day difference between consumer AI and enterprise AI. Consumer AI is free, sure, but your inputs might train future models. which means a competitor could literally receive AI-generated suggestions that were influenced by your business strategies. Enterprise AI, on the other hand, involves paid business plans where your data strictly stays yours. You pay with money, the data is not used for training, and the whole thing is governed by really rigid business agreements.
Now, using AI safely doesn't mean you should avoid it altogether. Not at all. It just means building the right habits. And honestly, this is the exciting part, because we can totally solve this. We're going to put you firmly in the driver's seat right now with a highly actionable 5-step system called the CLEAN framework. These 5 simple rules will let you confidently leverage AI's incredible power while keeping your data completely locked down.
Let's start with C and L. Check and limit. Before you generate that quick trend report, you absolutely must check before you paste. Scan your prompt for any descriptive context, names, or numbers that could uniquely identify a client or an employee. Then, limit what you upload. Don't just drag and drop a raw Excel file. You need to sanitize those files first. Strip out the hidden metadata. Delete those hidden tabs that might contain internal pricing margins, and replace real names with simple placeholders like Customer A.
Moving right along, the rest of the framework is Enterprise, Assume, and Never. Enterprise means you stick strictly to organization-approved tools, the ones with those strong contractual data protections we just talked about. Assume means you write every single prompt with the mindset that it is permanently backed up, retained, and entirely reviewable by human trainers. And finally, Never. Never ever share raw passwords, security keys, or active session tokens when asking an AI to debug code for you. You have to strip those out every single time, no exceptions.
Scaling this clean framework and this level of protection across an entire organization ultimately relies on 3 foundational pillars. Pillar number 1 is privacy. When we talk about data privacy in the context of AI, we're essentially talking about permission, consent, and control. The core driving question is simply, who is legally allowed to see this data? It's all about respecting the strict boundaries of personal information before it ever even touches a prompt.
The second pillar is security. Now, if privacy is all about who is allowed to see the data, security strictly deals with the technical and operational fortifications required to keep unauthorized entities out. The driving question shifts from who is allowed to who can physically access it. This covers the heavy-hitting stuff, the encryption, the firewalls, and the complex access controls surrounding the AI systems you're using. And the third, and honestly, sometimes the most complex, pillar is sovereignty. This is all about jurisdiction and physical geography. Because AI relies on these massive external cloud servers, you always have to ask whose laws apply here. If you upload an EU citizen survey data into an AI tool that happens to be hosted on a server in the United States, you are instantly navigating cross-border data transfer laws and strict regulations like GDPR. Geography really matters in the cloud.
So whenever you're evaluating a real-world AI scenario at work, you have to weigh these protections against the 2-dimensional risk matrix. You're looking at breach likelihood, meaning how easy is it for this specific data to slip out, versus breach severity. If it does slip out, how catastrophic is the damage? Let's say you're having an AI write a birthday poem for a coworker. That's a super low likelihood of a breach and practically zero severity if it gets out. But having an AI summarize patient medical records, that represents a medium likelihood of a breach due to user error, but a devastatingly high severity when it comes to HIPAA violations and real personal harm.
Well, we have covered a ton of ground in this explainer today, from the newspaper test to the insidious nature of shadow AI, all the way through the CLEAN framework. You are now fully armed with the knowledge to recognize sensitive data and really understand the true cost of free AI. Protecting your digital footprint and your organization's secrets is entirely in your hands now. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought to carry into the rest of your workday. Knowing the hidden costs and pathways of data leakage, what exactly will your next prompt be?